Okay, today's lesson is on integers. Our central question today is how can I use operations to simplify calculations with integers? So it might be important for us today to understand and remind ourselves what integers are. So let's go ahead and define that. Integers are all whole numbers and their opposites. Our whole numbers are the counting numbers starting with 0. All right, so if I made a little bit of a table here, and I have my number here, and then maybe it's opposite over here, just to kind of review. Say the number is 8, its opposite will be -8. 7, -7. -6, +6. Okay. And then another term from yesterday that we talked about that might be beneficial for us here is absolute value. When defining integers, I think absolute value will help us. It is the distance a number is from 0 on the number line. Is always positive. All right, so if I were to create another little table here, absolute value, and then what the actual distance would be. So if I want to know the absolute value of, let's say, -6, that would be 6. 2 would be 2. So that is absolute values. Now, our rules for integers. All right, so let's start with addition. Let's start with a problem like -3 plus -6. So in my rule, in my brain, like these two have, if we're working with the same sign, both these numbers have the same sign, we simply just add the numbers and we use the common sign. All right, so I have a 3 and a 6. I'm kind of ignoring that negative. They're both the same, so 3 and 6 is 9. I use their common sign, so -3 plus -6 is -9. If, for some reason, they're different signs, like -3 plus 6, and I would call this, kind of label this different signs. I, again, ignore the signs. Ignore the signs. I just go big number minus small number. And then I use the sign of the larger number. So in my brain, I'm going just 6 minus 3. 6 minus 3 is 3. I'm going to use the sign of the larger number, which was 6. 6 has the larger absolute value. So -3 plus 6 is +3. And I can use those rules throughout all addition problems with integers. Now subtraction is very similar. Okay. The only thing is that's different, in my opinion, is we got to work with our numbers here a little bit. So let's say the problem is -6 minus 7. All right. You may have learned rules in the past where I'm just going to change this to an addition problem. So I'm going to keep -6 the same. I'm going to change the subtraction sign, and then I'm going to make that last or that next term its opposite. So I'm going to change this to -6 plus -7. And now I can use my addition rules that we have here above. So that's the rules I always follow there. For multiplying and dividing, pretty basic in my opinion. If you have two positives, you know, a positive times a positive, I get a positive answer. Positive or dividing signs, same thing. If I have two negatives, a negative times a negative or a negative divided by a negative, I get a positive. If I have one of each, then it's going to be a negative. So like positive times a negative, that's a negative, or a negative times a positive, that's also a negative. All right, that's our gist here on integers and integer rules. Homework is on the Google Classroom classwork section. Thanks.